You can't judge a book by its cover. You know, you've got to get to know people and accept them for who they are and not what you think they should be.
Yeah, it took time, but we, you know, when we used to go dancing at the Palais, you know, they looked down at us because we were the wogs, the Daigos. My first and most advice, be tolerant. You have to tell to yourself that this person comes from a different culture. And you, Australian, have to give, and me, Australian, have to give time to this person to integrate. It takes time, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years, 10 years. And this is a multicultural country. Some people say, oh, why don't you go back home? You're ignorant if you say that. Really, you are ignorant. He came here for a better life.
People from different backgrounds has different culture. So when you are talking or coping with them, then understand their culture rather than making fun. Try to ask something you haven't experienced. A couple of times people have asked me about my culture and they made fun of it and that made me feel bad.
I guess you don't really know what they've been through to be in this country, whether they struggled in a war-torn country to get here or if they've just come here for a holiday or something like that. I guess be a bit open-minded, which I think a lot of people are, but I guess that would be my advice. Yeah.
If you need to know some people, their situation, and yeah, don't be scared and you can talk and ask them.
Dad had been out here before, working on the CRB, and when he went back to Ireland he said, if I ever meet someone and get married, I'm going to Australia to live. So when they got married and had us kids, the troubles was really getting full on. So the fighting, the Catholics and the Protestants and all that, the bombs, and yeah, so it was really starting to get tough. He had to pay his passage because he'd been here before, but the Presbyterian Church sponsored us, so we came out as £10 POMs.
Castle Police, they're Italian, and it was great. But brought us over here safely, and everybody was happy, and met a lot of different nationalities on the boat, and they were all friends.
I look on the wall in the railway station in Foggia. Foggia is a big city, like Geelong, big city. And I look the currency, the world currency on the wall, and I saw the Australian pound. I said, oh yeah, if I go there, I'll work, I can send my mother that much money, she's going to get that much in lira. That's a good proposition. And they speak English in Australia. That's where I'm going. When I got the papers that I was allowed to come to Australia, I said to my mother, I said, when I go to Australia, I'm going to eat that much meat. After 12 months, I wrote back to her, I said, Mum, I'm sick of meat. In Italy, of course, being a poor family, we had meat once a week, if we were lucky, and only a small amount.
I grew up in a farmer family. Men used to do the farming, and women's, most of them are housewife there. I studied hospitality and thinking that I would get more opportunity there, and there was opportunity as well. I won't say there wasn't, but my brother-in-law and sister were here, and they described me, you will have more opportunity in Australia in hospitality, so come and get more experience in Australia. Then if you decide to go back, then you can go back anytime.
I came from DRC Congo and spent many years in Malawi for refugees camp, more than 16 years. Another person come in the refugees to stay more than 3 years, 2 years, they go Australia. They do what? Too much corruption. So, it's bad.
I saw my dad. He's coming and crying. I asked my dad, why are you crying? He said, run, let's go to our house. So I started running. I was pregnant with Bella, first one here. I started running. I said, why? My dad said, no, let's go. I told you. So we are going there. We found my mom and my family. They are crying. You are crying, why? They said, your grandfather and your grandpa and your grandmother, they are died. They give them poison with foods, so they are died. So I said, why they do that? So we start running.
Is it safe in the refugee camp?
No,
It's not.
not safe.
Why is that?
There's because we are different countries, so there's no relationship. I'm from DRC, this one is from Rwanda, Somalia, Congo. It can hate Rwanda, Rwanda hates Somalia, like that, and do something bad. They are not safe. It's bad condition. Every time people die there. Every time poison people, kill them at night when they are sleeping. They don't know people is coming where, is broken the door and get in, died. So my mom, she was telling me about that thing, and my heart is not good that time and this time. Yeah. Okay. Every time.
When the Pol Pot regime kind of kicked in, my parents found they had to relocate us because it was it's quite a kind of dangerous time over there. In the city, we're basically gathered up like the Holocaust and just moved into the concentration camps, and they just worked there as slaves pretty much. Anyone who tried to go against the government, they were basically killed off. Also, anyone that they deemed were quite smart to kind of overthrow the government, they'll kind of just, wipe them out as well.
We have a big war in Sri Lanka and civil war, and they just fight for the country, who wanna own the country. So the Tamils don't have a place to live in Sri Lanka. Actually, they just try to kick them. And my husband killed by army, and he's kidnapped 2006. And I didn't have a very good life after that. And I treated very badly in Sri Lanka as a single woman. And I have very sad and bad things happen to me, and as a woman I can't share that. I came from Sri Lanka by boat, and it took me 25 days, and we ran out of food and water within 5 days. And my son, very brave, and he tried to drink. He's I think scared to die, and he tried to put the buckets in the sea, and he just drink that water. And also our boat damaged, and the water tried to come in, and they tried to fix, couldn't. And luckily we rescued from Singapore's ship, and they took us to the Cocos Island. We stayed 4 days at Cocos Island. They transferred to Christmas Island, and we have 6 months in Christmas Island, and they transferred to Melbourne.
I think growing up in Melbourne, you don't really know your neighbours, kind of. You're not really friendly towards anybody in the community. But I feel like Warrnambool has that sense of community. Like they want to know you, they want to kind of know where you're from. You know, take time to say hello to you, even if you're walking your dog down the street. I guess that was a big change for me because I wasn't used to that, you know.
Listen, I had to listen for a minute or two until I picked up the Australian accent. But it was all right otherwise. But they used to laugh the way I talk. They love to hear me talk. Say something. It was a good turn back for us to come here and make a living. For my husband always said, you'll love it because the people's lovely. And he was right, because I've met a lot of friends out here, so I do. And we got on wonderful so together, and everybody was nice.
Oh, I was in the end of my shift, and I finished working, and I was to catch the train. I had to catch the train, and it was like dark, and there were a few people side of the road, and they were saying something that wasn't very good. And then I didn't know those words, even what they were saying. I came to home and Googled it, and then found out that it wasn't a good word. And after that, I started using headphones while I travel, so I get to know people.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Never happened in Warrnambool.
Good.
It's been 11 months. I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, how do you find the people of Warrnambool or people of the district?
Very friendly. They understand. The first thing, they understand. And they understand that people have different culture, so that makes you way much easier to work. If I describe something, they listen. Something different, they listen. And then that's a good part.
Yeah.
For
I had last year big interview with the immigration department. That interviewer officer, she's straight away told me like negative words, and I felt very bad, and I'm just gone very bad trauma 5 months, and last December. And the Port Fairy community, they said, no, we won't let you go. And they just give me more support, and they gave lots of strength to me, come to normal. And they gave very good positive words, and that's became true. And I got 5 years visa.
Yeah.
Now I'm here in Australia. God allowed me to come in Australia. Now I'm happy with my wife and my children as my family.
I'm still what I am. I'm a fair income Australian. But I still got my little tradition, making the wine, a bit of pasta, things that Australian people do anyway. It's up to the individual that you got to mingle. You got to learn the language, you got to learn the lingo, and that time goes by. You change, I change, and the world goes around, you see. Look how much you people have changed since we came here. I mean, you eat more bloody garlic than I do.